So I wanted to talk about our first couple of years as MAs. So, can you tell me about moving and the first year for you as my wife? How did that go for you?
It was fine. It was fine. It was a good move, and I was in MOPS for the first year, and we helped out in a couple different churches with worship leading and helping out there, and kids crusades and VBS and all that kind of stuff. And this last year we've been focusing on African trips and we went to Liberia. So it's been a very active 2 years. Adventurous 2 years.
Beginning I was assigned to network, and we did internet evangelism and helped thousands of people to know Christ. I did migrate to serving the African missionaries. And how was it when I did go to Zimbabwe for 10 days and you were home alone with the kids? How was that for you?
It was okay. I missed you. I think it was the longest we've ever been apart, so I'm sure most people think I'm a wussy, but
yeah.
But no, it was good. It was a good experience for you, your first time completely overseas, and I was kind of a single mom, and it was hard to get a hold of you, but you loved it. You did good. You came back. You were just energized, and you said it was about everything you expected it to be, and it was good. You just were glowing when you came back, so I knew it was a good thing for you to do.
I know, I was glowing.
Well, this year you started working on the computers to go to Liberia, and you packed up Tabernacles to go to Liberia, and then we were invited to go with a team that went to Liberia. And so in March, both of us went, and my folks came out and stayed with the boys, and so Tim and I went, and for 9 days we built 8 different buildings. We built Assemblies of God Bible School that was destroyed during the war, the Civil War in that country, and that was amazing. I mean, we pushed it for 10 hours every day, and it was great. It was fun. It was hot, but everybody did well. We stayed hydrated, and like Tim said, people prayed, in the churches, and they packed them the next day, pretty much. So that was an exciting trip for us both to be on, and that was.
You were a wonderful water girl.
I had a little more than water.
The best time on that trip for me is honestly seeing you minister to those children, and just to see, we posted images and video on Facebook and YouTube of her just surrounded by Africans, and just the love that I know that she felt and they felt, and I know that you broke down when we left just because it was amazing to have 40 kids around you and loving on all of them, and the same thing with the adults of just loving on the adults and showing Christ's love was, again, one of the most things I'll never forget, sharing and speaking on Sunday and having the pastor say, your message that you spoke it was really for me, and just seeing how the Holy Spirit's moving in Liberia and how it's moving in Africa and what God is doing in us. And that kind of brings me to this change that God birthed in us a little bit before Africa, a little bit before Liberia, and it's really the Liberia trip that kind of solidified it. God birthed in that moment of the idea of an emergency response team for our missionaries. I discussed that with you. How do you feel?
Well, yeah, I felt more comfortable with that. Since we've always wanted to go overseas, but where we want to go is currently closed, and the doors are just being closed that direction. And we felt the doors were being open this way. We felt peace about it. And so we discussed it with our director, and he felt this was a good direction. But for us to do this, it would be better to have a home base rather than being here, because of course my parents came out and watched the kids. It's just difficult without being around family, without being outside of our network, our district. It would just make more sense if we were going to do this in the next few years, going on more long-term short trips for being a missionary to our missionaries when they need us for emergencies or whatever. It would be better to do this from our home base of Washington. So that's what we're doing. We are moving home the end of July, and it's exciting. We're really excited with this new adventure in our life, and we're just going to see where God takes it in the next few years, and we're going to spend a year and kind of prepare ourselves, get our budget built back up where it needs to be so that we are able to take emergency trips or wherever we need to go at the time. It may be Tim, it may be me, it may be our family, but it would be more comfortable being in our home state with our families, our network, our district, as supporting all of
Through
us.
this process, we've prayed and we've fasted a lot to get God's direction, and she laughs, but it's even gotten to the point where we had complete strangers call us and say, you know, I saw you guys, I saw a picture of you, and God told me to pray for you, and I've been praying for you for a week, and this is what God's telling me to tell you. And I'm sitting on the phone listening and not believing what I'm hearing, but the person is just confirming everything that God's been doing with us. And this hasn't just happened once, it's happened a couple of times. When a missionary is overseas and their extended family dies and they need to move home, or they're having trouble with their children, that we would come to their field and be a placeholder for them and for their ministry until they're able to return. We are not going to take over the ministry, we're going to serve the field and the ministry that they have. And to do that effectively, we do need to move back home. We still need to get support, because on average we'll need to carry a $20,000 fund in our MA account to use that money to immediately go overseas. So that's what God's doing now.
Yeah, so we won't be taking our budget funds when we move home. It will only be used for trips, for emergency trips or when needed. So we still need our supporters, we still need you, and it could be, you know, one time, it can be monthly, but it will go into that fund specifically designed for overseas missions emergency trips. So that's what we're doing, and we just wanted to let you know that, and we're excited, and we'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah, becoming all to everyone to save some. Thanks.